one more for the game. Come, sit.
You have passed the 13 gates. And you come to my table to play the game of life and death. Your stake is wagered. I refuse none who come here. Yet, I say, turn back.
Well, that was just a little bit ominous. Hello everyone, I am Landric. This is Landric Plays, and today I am playing some Hand of Fate. Hand of Fate is, it's a little bit difficult to describe. It's sort of like a roguelike RPG, kind of, but it also has these deck building elements, as you can sort of tell from the dealer here, floating all of these cards around. Clearly our mother never told us that never to play cards with somebody that can magically make cards fly around wherever they want them. So I'm going to jump into the game and we're going to get started, and we're going to see what happens.
The game begins.
It does indeed.
One lives and one dies. Let us see what you are made of.
Okay. So we are going to play through a number of sort of challenges. Now, this isn't a sort of traditional card game. Well, you'll see in a minute. I will let him sort of explain what we're about to do, and then we will go through it.
Here is the first member of my court, the Jack of Dust. 12 in all must fall before you may challenge me.
So there we go, all 12 members of his court. So we have to fight 12 bosses, and the first of them is the Jack of Dust. The Jack of Dust is a bandit leader who's stronger and faster than most bandits that we'll normally encounter, and he also has some special attacks. So he goes into the deck. The deck gets magically shuffled. So again, why would you wager anything against a person that can do this with cards? This seems like a terribly bad idea. So we have a bunch of different piles of cards.
Let the cards fall where they may.
They do indeed.
We begin.
Luckily, we don't really need to worry about what cards go where and everything. The dealer will handle all of that. And this is the way most of the game works. He lays out these cards to form a map, and then we move our little token here through each card, so we can only move adjacently, so this is the only one we can move to right now. And then we will move through the map until we find the exit. And we'll discover certain things along the way. So let's move to this first one right here.
That first moment, that glinting weapon, the call to action, to adventure. Truly, there is nothing like it.
Truly indeed, absolutely nothing like it. And that is why we're here. So this is the Twisted Canyon. Let's activate this card. You see a weapon glinting in the sunlight, lying next to a skeleton at the bottom of the canyon. Well, let's hope we don't join that skeleton, but I do like the sound of weapons just lying freely around. Let's see if we can grab it. So the walls of the canyon are covered in thick vines that are perfect for climbing. So we can climb down to retrieve the weapon, or we can just leave it. Well, no, let's go and get that weapon. And we'll have a look at one of the interesting mechanics of this game. So we get these success and failure cards that are then shuffled.
Choose from these options.
And so we saw that the first card on top was a success that then got shuffled into this position. So this one should be a guaranteed success. We're not sure which of the others are which, but we should know this one is definitely a success. And hey presto, it is. Fantastic. Later challenges will have more failures compared to successes, and they will also shuffle them multiple times, so it's not quite always this easy, but you know, this is a little introduction tutorial, so it's good to sort of get a sense of how the mechanics work. So we climb down to retrieve the weapon, and very carefully we make our way to the bottom of the canyon. So we retrieve the weapon from the ancient corpse, and this means we draw an equipment card. So the dealer will pass us a card, and it is an axe, which is quite handy. We currently have a rusty axe equipped, so rusty axe does 20 damage, the axe does 25 damage. Seems kind of a no-brainer. Let's equip the axe in place of the rusty axe.
Savor. That will make you much more effective.
It will. a whole 25% more effective, I think. Don't do math live. So now we have a choice. We can either go up or you can go right. So I think I'm going to carry on going up and then I'll sort of circle around this way. So we found the stairs, we found the exit.
More, seeking the heart of it all.
So we can leave this area and go to the next level of the dungeon if you like, if we take the stairs, but I'm going to turn back. I'm going to keep exploring. I'm going to see what is behind these two cards here. So let's move to this one.
Fair Merith, I'm not surprised to find that this encounter remains vivid in your memories.
That's right. These cards are all based on memories of our lives. So we are almost sort of replaying our journey through life with the dealer here. This is quite literally the game of life. So one day in a shady forest, we encounter, or previously encountered, an elven maiden, and she stops to greet us. I am Merith of the Forest Folk. My people have long helped the mortals of this realm. What boon would you ask of me? Well, we can ask for longer life, we can ask for supplies, or we can ask for gold. I imagine supplies means food, so we've got 17 food right now. We spend 1 every time we move to a new location. 17 is absolutely plenty, so there's only one step to go in this level, so we'll sort of move down and then up and then to the stairs, so we'll spend a couple of bits of food, but we'll still have plenty left over. We could ask for gold. We've got 10 gold sitting around, and more gold is always nice. But who can pass up the opportunity to ask for longer life? Let's absolutely do that. As you wish, Merith mutters and waves her hand, and a light starts to shine from your skin. The dealer draws you 2 max health gain cards. Fantastic. So let's do that. So we get 5 max health.
Extra health, but it is only a momentary
and
respite.
Another 5 max health. So we are now on 110 out of 110. The elders of our kind often say that we must retread paths we once took in order to gain an advantage of the present. Farewell, mortal. And that is true. It's sort of nicely interleaving the mechanics of the game with the narrative. As we play this game, we will unlock new cards and new equipment and new encounters. So even if we sort of get halfway through a dungeon and we fail before we beat the final boss, then when we replay that level, we will have new skills, new abilities, new encounters and adventures along the way. So not only does it make the game sort of more replayable and more interesting, it gives us sort of new tools to defeat that final boss with, which is why exploring all of these different paths is kind of nice. So in that vein, let's hop over here, and we have met Mr. Lionel.
I was never a fan of illusion or pretense. Here, I'll make an exception.
Will you now? Oh, lovely. So this is Mr. Lionel. What does Mr. Lionel want? While enjoying your evening meal at the local tavern, a strange old man takes the seat next to yours. He taps your shoulder quite painfully with his wooden staff to get your attention, and you notice that he appears to be a goblin, poorly disguised as a human. Yes, he certainly does. Look at that big old smile and that adorable fake mustache. His wizen face grins at you with a hint of madness. My name is Mr. Lionel, and if you give me what I need, boy, I will conjure up your heart's desire with this wizarding wand of my own creation. That doesn't sound suspect at all. Okay then. He cackles uncontrollably for a few moments, and then sits patiently waiting for your answer. So we can give him the bread from our plate, which again I think will spend some of our food. We could give him 20 gold if we had 20 gold, but we don't. We can ask him what he actually does need, or we can ignore the goblin altogether. I'm going to ask him what he needs. What do you need, Mr. Lionel? Need? I need to help you. Oh, well that's certainly handy. So Mr. Lionel taps his staff on the ground, and a shield materializes at your feet. There you go, old bean. He smiles a warm grin that reveals all his chipped and yellowed teeth. Your face reminds me of my son. I haven't met you before, have I? You know, Mr. Lionel, I don't think you have, but thank you very much for the shield. So we draw 1 equipment card, and I'm pretty sure it's guaranteed to be, yes, a shield. And this allows us to reflect projectile attacks, as long as we're very precise with when they're about to hit us. And we can also counter certain attacks. So if somebody attacks us, we can counter with our shield. So brilliant, let's equip that.
You can now reflect your opponent's ranged attacks using your shield. Make good use of this skill if you wish to survive.
I absolutely will. And then before we can stop him, and with inhuman speed, Mr. Lionel snatches a pickled onion off of our plate and sprints out the tavern door. You know what? You enjoy that pickled onion, Mr. Lionel. That is absolutely a fair trade for a shiny new shield. So we have now completely explored all of the cards in this area. So I'm going to hop back up here, which costs us a food again, and then hop over to the stairs. And we are going to
downwards, if you dare.
We are going to make our way out of this area and onto the next level of the dungeon. So we embark upon the next leg of our adventure.
You are on the final floor of our simple map. Your opponent waits here for you. Find him. If you defeat me, well, it is early to be talking about victories and losses. Let us see what you're made of.
So, this is the last level of this, okay, quite simple tutorial, but it's covering all the concepts nicely. And this one is quite linear. Later on we'll have much bigger maps, lots more cards, and lots more different paths to take. There will be a lot more choice involved, which will make it a lot more interesting. If we defeat him, well, like he says, we'll wait and see if we get that far. But we know that the Jack of Dust is somewhere on this level, and he's almost certainly this last card right here. So let's start making our way towards him.
I'm sure it's not called Dead Man's Gorge without reason.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. I do love the lines this guy throws out. They're always so snarky. He really sort of makes the whole atmosphere come alive. I love like his table, like all of the various like little bits and pieces on it. The whole atmosphere of this game is actually done quite nicely, even though it seems so simple at first glance. So, Dead Man's Gorge. Let's activate this and hope we don't become a Dead Man's. While crossing the ancient rope bridge of Dead Man's Gorge, you hear sounds of movement from below. It's an ambush! Oh no, I never would have guessed. So now we're going to draw one monster card, and then we're actually going to see sort of how combat works in this game. And this sort of actually switches between the card view and like an actual combat view. So we draw the 3 of Dust. Dust cards represent bandits, and there are 3 of them. So here we are in Dead Man's Gorge. The bandits get put over there, and we get put over here. So there's our armor, our shield, and our axe. So let's go deal with these bandits.
You can now counter your opponent's attacks. Hit the counter button when you see the flashing indicator.
Yes. So here are the controls. And bandits are quite simple to beat, so we shouldn't have too much trouble. Just bop, bop, bop. There we go. Counter. Oop. I actually managed to hit him before I could counter there. There we go. Counter. Bop, bop, bop. Counter. Bop. Oops. Accidentally missed my combo string there. Oh well. Pow! There we go. Last one defeated, and we get a little sort of slow-mo animation of us finishing him off. And then we're back to the card table. So again, simple little battle, but the first one that we faced so far, obviously they're going to get much, much harder. But that went quite well, so we recover what we can from the dead. We draw 3 gain cards. So this might be equipment, it might be food,
I'm sure
it might be
you're
gold.
grateful for that.
So we draw 1 equipment. What are we going to get? We get the Damocles.
A classical approach to dealing with crowds.
Yes, ancient crowd control. So the Damocles is an artifact. It doesn't count as a weapon. It goes in a special slot, which gives us a special ability that we can use. So during combat, we can press 2, and it will throw knives in 8 different directions. And there's a slight sort of cooldown timer on using that. I'm not sure how useful it's going to be, but you know, I'm certainly not going to turn my nose up at it, so we'll pocket that.
Artifacts provide powerful special abilities to use in combat, but it takes time to ready them.
Yes, I just said all that. We also got some food. Not really that useful because we've got less than 5 different encounters to go, and so we've got 18 food in the bank, and we've got some gold as well. So, but hey, maybe we can give the food away to one of these encounters. We'll have to see. Okay, so we've discovered our first shop. So we can go and sell some of this gold. In Shady Grove, off the beaten trail, you find a travelling merchant looking to trade with wandering adventurers. Hey, we're a wandering adventurer. So let's approach the shop. Greetings, wise traveller, I have much to offer you. What are you buying, stranger? So,
If you were wondering why you've been collecting all that gold, you now have your answer.
we do indeed.
We're starting to get into the meat of the game now. The back and forth between resources and rewards.
That's right, there is an awful lot of sort of resource management in this game. When we're sort of progressing through the dungeons, we're going to have to be very careful sort of managing our food, how much gold we want to spend to get more food, and how much gold we want to spend on artifacts to make the combat more easy, or easier. So let's see what we can buy. So we can buy an axe, well we already have an axe. We can buy an explorer's helmet, which reveals the stairs upon entering a level, and it grants a bonus. It grants bonus gold for revealing every encounter on the level, because exploring. There is the healing cap, which means any time you heal, you receive double healing, and we can get a sword, which is slightly what's it? Same value as the axe, but slightly less damage. So I think we'll pass on that as well. So we could get one of these helmets. We don't especially need it, because we're at full health. And the Explorer's Helmet, well, this is the last level of it, so there are no more stairs, and there's therefore no need to fully explore everything. So I think I'll actually pass on this. We could also buy food or heal wounds, neither of which we need to do. And we can sell any extras we've got. So we could sell the Damocles if we wanted, but I'll hang on to it. And again, we don't have any sort of extras for our axe and shield. You can see we've got those equipped. So I'm gonna just go back. So we don't especially need anything from this shop, which is a bit of a shame. But later on we'll find more shops that have more interesting things. So let's hop over here. Winding trail.
An ambush.
An
Hardly
ambush.
fair, is it?
That's not fair at all. Suddenly a tree falls across your path, blocking the way ahead, and the dealer draws one monster card. So this is the Two of Dust. So we actually have a choice before we get the encounter. Weapons bristle from the trees around you, the wielder's face is obscured by the undergrowth. Give us all your gold or die. So we could give them all of our gold and then they'll go away. We've got 35 gold, and we're probably not going to spend it on anything because there's nothing we want at the shop and the final boss is just here. But it's the principle of the thing. We don't negotiate with bandits. Besides, there's 2 of them, and we've just defeated 3 in one go, so let's attack the cowardly band for daring to threaten you. We yell a battle cry, we raise our weapon, and the battle begins. So we load back into the combat view, I guess you call it, the combat arena. There go the bandits. Here are we, here's all of our stuff. Yeah, this is not going to go well for them. Hey, let's try out our Damocles and see how that goes. So I'll just block that, and then pow! That's quite nice. I like the little effect it does. We get a little bit of a stun on them, and then pow! Ooh, that is a nasty way to go. He sort of rolls away dramatically. He knows he's done for. And there we go. So we search the bodies and we get 3 gain cards. So we get some more equipment. Oh hey, we got a healing cap for free. Brilliant.
Increasing the effect of one sort of magic with another. All you need is a channel for power, and it's simple enough.
There you go. It's simple enough. So now we have a magic hat. So we're not going to keep any of that equipment when we get to the next level, the next boss. Everything gets reset at the start, but it does mean that we might be able to put this card in our deck so that we can find it later on, or rather, no, it's already in our collection, our deck, whatever you call it, because we found it. But we might unlock other cards that can also crop up. So we only have these 2 helmets, I think, in our deck right now, because they're the only 2 ones we've seen. But later on we'll unlock more cards, and they will go into our deck, and that means they might show up in the gain pile over here. But for now, let's get to the Jack of Dust.
You have reached my first champion. A good man, driven to madness by a war that took all from him. Wife and child, kith and kin. From such dark and brittle iron I forge my tools. Now we see your metal.
Okay, so this is the Jack of Dust. The bandit leader is stronger and faster than most bandits we've encountered. And most bandits we've encountered haven't really been up to much, let's be honest, so it's not saying a lot. He can become enraged, making powerful unblockable attacks, so that's something we'll have to look out for. And he inspires his followers to steal gold on every hit, so they will actually steal a little bit of our gold every time they hit us. In the ruins of an ancient temple, among the eternally shifting sand dunes, lives the mysterious leader of the Desert Bandits. Infamous for his reign of terror over any spice caravans that dare take their chances travelling through his domain, he rules as king over the Barren Lands. Well, he might rule as king over the Barren Lands, but he is only the Jack of the Dust. So we still have the Queen of Dust and the King of Dust to find yet, and he's not either of them. So let's continue.
This token will unlock more cards if you can defeat this encounter.
And that's right, this card has this token on it, which means if we defeat this card, we unlock these tokens, and these tokens will unlock more things. So let's get to it. So the Jack of Dust gets his own little special combat animation, and a couple of followers. So the Four of Dust, 4 extra bandit buddies for him to bring along with him. So I think I'm going to beat up this group of 4 fairly weak bandits first, and then we'll worry about him.
Some enemy attacks cannot be blocked or countered. Get
Roll.
out of the way, or stop them with your own counterattack.
So I don't know what the combo meter does, or whether it's only used for certain weapons, or whether each attack gets slightly more powerful the higher your combo is. Some weapons definitely proc certain effects when you get to higher on the combo meter. There we go. Roll and pow. Whoop, dodge that. And then just keep smacking him. There we go. And he has dropped the Jack of Dust card, which we can grab. And here we are, back with the dealer.
Down into the worms with him. Perhaps there is peace for him in the grave, poor soul.
Perhaps.
One champion has been sent to the cabinet. Yet we are only at the start of our road. You will face 11 more opponents who will test your strength, your memories, and your resolve. Few fall at the first hurdle. None reach the last. We have wagered, and you have won. You may claim your rewards, yet I will also claim mine. As you improve, so do I. Balance must be retained.
There we go. So that was very succinctly put by the dealer. I don't think I could have put it better myself. So we have won the first level. We have to face 11 more champions, and each time we beat a champion, or I think it's a set of 3 champions, I'm not sure, the dealer's power will increase. His cards will become stronger, but we will also collect more cards by unlocking these tokens. So as I think Merith the Elf was saying at the start, even if we fail to defeat the champion, we will retain any of these tokens that we've collected along the way, and they will unlock more things for us to do the next time we have to face a particular champion. So, I guess without further ado, let's crack open this token and see what it's given us. So, as a reward for defeating the bandit Jack, Jack the Bandit, no, the Jack of Dust, you receive these new cards. So we've got the Jack of Skulls, the Dead King's Hall, the Local Peasant, the Devil's Choice, I like the sound of that one, the River, and the Captain of the Guards. So, these are all encounters, and you can see that all of these also have this little token marker at the bottom of them, which means once we defeat this encounter, or pass this encounter, we will unlock a new set of cards. You can see that some of them also have this lock at the top, which means these are stuck in our deck, that we cannot get rid of these until we beat them. Okay, so let's see what's behind this token. So these are equipment cards that we've got for defeating the bandit. So we've got some medium armor, the Chains of Rage, an artifact, the Mercenary Contract, some more medium armor, Fortitude's Breath, and Desperate Measures, which looks like a hammer. Nice, so we'll add those to our collection. And last but not least, we have unlocked the Bandit Attack. And again, this one is locked into our deck.
Shall we deal again?
And there we go, that is the first level of Hand of Fate. I really, really like this game. I think it's quite replayable. There's lots and lots of stuff to unlock. I've had fun playing it, I'm going to continue having fun playing it, and I hope you all have fun watching it. So with that in mind, thank you very much, and I will see you next time.